We want justice. We want freedom. We're ready to make a move into the future.
Grace and peace. I am Ishtime Robinson, and I am talking to you today after we have just completed our Unity Day for Mothers Against Youth Genocide. It's our first actual kickoff for Unity Day, and it's been just a blessing. So I am here to talk a little bit about the motivation for Unity Day. This is our logo, which is a rose, blood, and this slave shackle. Our goal for Mothers Against Youth Genocide and purpose for having Unity Day today was to bring the community together around the theme of preserving and saving our youth and empowering families who have lost loved ones to violence, systemic violence and family violence, police brutality, and the total gamut of violence. Mothers Against Youth Genocide is an organization that I founded in response to the loss of my beautiful daughter, Aja Dixon, and my oldest son, Jason Dixon. Jason died August 30th, 2009. Aja died March the 4th, 2010, 6 months within each other. I have been here in Dallas off and on since the death of Aja, fighting for justice for her, and also fighting for justice for Jason, who died in New York City, both from family violence and systemic violence and police brutality. I have formulated this foundation because of the lack of support that families get when they lose loved ones, and because of the horrific slaughtering of our youth across the nation. This is a global and national problem. Children of African descent, in my view, are being murdered because they are simply children of African descent. In my view, this is bigger than police brutality. This is about genocide, eradicating from the planet children who have come through the Middle Passage experience, children of the diaspora, and something has to be done to eradicate this Holocaust, or we're going to lose future generations.
We are celebrating our Unity Day, Mothers Against Youth Genocide. The inspiration for Mothers Against Youth Genocide is actually the death of our children, collectively the death of my daughter, Aja Dixon, that died 4 years ago, was murdered in Corsicana, Texas. Aja was a prodigy. She was a chess master, theater major, who had come to Corsicana for 1 semester. She was 22 years old, and she was murdered and brutally beat by Corsicana police while in a holding cell in Corsicana, Texas. She was a Navarro college student who was there for 1 semester only. Aja died 6 months after my oldest son died, Jason Dixon. I didn't bring Jason's picture today. You don't know Jason, but he died in New York City, and then 6 months later, Aja died. The reason why I was led to start this foundation, which is Mothers Against Youth Genocide, is because of the multiple deaths of my 2 children. In response to Aja's death, I got it. The light bulb went on. This is not police brutality. This is a deliberate, intentional design to murder and kill our children, our people of African descent. I want to make that very clear here. Very clear. Of African descent, simply because we are children of African descent. We're descendants from Africa. And so my motivation is not to shine the light on police, systemic violence. My motivation here is to shine the light on the total pathological composition, every force involved that takes our children out. And that begins with me as a mother.
Today we had several grassroots organizations come out at Pan-African. It was a beautiful turnout. We had artists, we had other social activists come out, other organizations represented. We are here at Pan-African Connection. It was a phenomenal day. We are so blessed to have had this day. by the universe, by our ancestors. And we now are going to move forward trying to eradicate this problem, and also in an attempt to eradicate the problem, we are going to provide intervention and support to families.
Got a mind of my own, I don't do what they do. It's like a wise man trying to follow the fool. So much knowledge inside of me, you think I swallowed a school.
Black political power. So again, I greet you with Black Power. I want to give thanks to our ancestors. We have to pay homage to them because they're the ones that paved the way for us.
I'm telling you, you have power in your spirituality if you go back and get it.
Because it's all about love, and the more that the word gets out there about what's happening to us as a people as a whole, then the less it will happen because we'll be empowered ourselves.
There ain't no brothers and sisters like you and I to be seen every day. Because people learn by what? People said in 1966, people learn by observation and participation.
Marcus Garvey told me, people without knowledge of their history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. And I say a tree without roots will wither and die.
But we don't spend money, with ourselves, but we spend it with everybody else. If you go into a black neighborhood, or you go into a restaurant on a Sunday after church, go into a Chinese restaurant, the whole Baptist church is there. Sitting there, they're all eating, they're all taking place, and you don't see very many Chinese people. Why? Because they go home when they eat. They save their money. They don't spend in that manner. And so we have got to begin to change our spending habits and educate ourselves about what the American dollar, but it's not just the American dollar. This dollar, what we don't realize, is a global dollar.
Every single day, the black man is labeled as aggressive, as demonstrative, as undisciplined, as a man that makes children and doesn't take care of. The black woman is looked at as overly aggressive, non-submissive, over-sexualized.
We have to be about the business of stopping all this rhetoric, all this ism, schism, and all this stuff about you ain't black enough or you too black. And we got to start talking about what we can do to support our community so that it can survive until such time as the revolution, which will not be televised, will not be put on Facebook.
Our culture shows us that African Americans come in many shapes. Our culture teaches us black is beautiful. On the catwalk we see white flat bottoms and stars being pale bodies. In our culture it's always been okay to have a plump lips or a brown round. Let's look back at our dear sister, Sarah Bartman.
The one thing that I want to say is this problem, this pathology, this tragedy can be eradicated through the spirit of love. We have to go within and love ourselves as descendants of African descent. We have to deal with our own pathologies internally. We can't just look outside of ourselves and blame another community for this epidemic, because another community is not responsible for the preservation of our children that we bring to the planet through our loins. So my whole challenge to the community would be go within. How do we solve this problem? Through love, self-determination, eradicating the pathologies, the problems, the socialization process that has gotten us to the place where we don't love ourselves and where we don't love one another because of chattel slavery. Dealing with the trauma of that institution of slavery, we have to deal with it. We are broken, and so if we don't face that brokenness, we're going to continue to perpetuate genocide upon each other and also open the gate for other groups who don't like us to perpetuate the same genocide. So love, 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 love. I always say that. Love, 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 love. That's my answer. And it's just that simple. If you are facing someone in your family that you don't love, love them. If you are facing a coworker that you don't like, love them. Love in spite of yourself, so that we can move forward and preserve the future. Because when we're gone and when our children are gone, there will be no future. So that's what I want to leave with you. I want to thank the brother who put this, this little video thing together, and I just want you to go on Justice for Aja, Justice for the number 4, Aja, AHJAH, to learn more about what we're doing at Mothers Against Youth Genocide, to get involved, to help us, and to spread the word.
It helps teach other people that you don't have to know each other to love each other and to help each other. Most of us have met through other events, other organizations, and just embraced each other with love, and however we can help each other, we should. For me, that's why it's important.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment on that question?
I would say I have a strong sense of community, and you can't spell community without the word unity. It was, you know what I'm saying, one common cause, because our youth is our future, and we understand that if we don't do it now, then when?
Okay.
Usually the type of people that come to these events are conscious people, people that's already awakened, so it's even good just to network with those type of people to kind of find solutions. I don't think it's going to solve the problem, but I think it's a level. Like, there's different levels to it, and this is just one level, one piece that's going to help come to a solution.
And our people got to stop being reactionary. The thing about us, we don't get involved until it's happened to our family member. And the thing about a riot or something like that, that's happened spontaneous. It's like they would witnessed it themselves. They were on the scene. People get killed all the time by the pig, and they're like, oh, okay, it happened on the side of the road, or that happened here, or that happened there. No one cares. But when you actually see it, and you feel it, and you out there, that's when a riot will spark. It's spontaneous. But we got to stop being reactionary. We have to organize right now.
It's all contingent upon the framing of the event. So the context of our gathering, and any gathering, if we're unifying in a positive manner, it's going to be uplifting. It's going to get us to, you know, a higher point, and to, you know, that next threshold. But prior to that, just as far as what we have been doing, our reactionary piece, what we do is we've been trained to social media network and do it to, we're having the conversations, but we're having the conversations in a forum that's being surveillanced. So whether you believe it or not, you know, you're under surveillance while you're having that forum. So the real organization piece that has always been stopped throughout history is when people just get together. You just bring your body to a place and y'all say, well, y'all meet and y'all talk. And you don't got to worry about, you know, editing your thoughts before you really put them out there, so you can have an uninhibited conversation that's really going to help you come to a conclusion if there's one out there.
Still exist on a smaller scale. I mean, just today being a prime example that there are many of us who are trying to do this work and who are trying to build these communities and help our children. I think it's possible. I think it takes time. I think it takes time to get back to where we were, where we protected our own communities. I think it takes time. We didn't get into the situation overnight. So to expect people to change and we're not providing solutions. I mean, this to me, watching young black men out here from different age levels network and communicate and say, bruh, King, I do this and I do this. That's how we build. That's how we rebuild, because we need to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. That's right. You know, so we all have to stay in our own respective lanes, you know, so that we can, you know, grow and build together.
It's possible. We got to understand that every day we're being bombarded with media mind control. And the brother's right. Communities are just blocks today. Community is something that thrives. Community is the place where people come. The church used to be the pillar of the community, where people could come. The barbershop was the center of the community. The beauty shop, we could talk about these issues. As long as we got a place like Pan-African Connection, as long as we got a place like with Dr. Safisha here, like the Acts of Change, we can come together. And I think that we can begin to plant those seeds. I want to see liberated zones. I want to see a place where red, black, and green flags is flying as you go in the Hispanic community. And you see they got their flags flying. But we need to do it block by block. If I moved on their block, my brother moved on their block, she moved on their block, we took over a block. We take over a block, we make it a liberated zone for our children. We got our own daycare over there. We got our own schools over there. We got our own thriving businesses. But it takes dedicated people to save, because the #1 people who suffer in our community is the youth and the elders. Because 30 and up, we move out. We take the resources and knowledge and we go build up somebody else's. If we're going to do it, then we got to have a unified collective, and we got to say, damn it, we're going to hold the line, we're going to move in, we're going to build this community together.
Right.
Absolutely.
We have to pass the anvil, you know, and the mantle, and we haven't done that. I'm talking about my generation, like the Cosby, generation, and we got comfortable with integration and making good money and the superficial lifestyle that gave us a false sense of security. And so it is imperative with the crises that we're having now with our youth. Our kids are mad, they're angry, because we have not passed the mantle. We have not. We have not engaged them, we have not spent time with them, we have not taught them their history, their culture. We haven't done any of that. We just got lazy. And that has to change. We have to have a paradigm shift in how we parent and how we engage one another collectively as a community.
I think it starts with education. Like a lot of people, I'm 26, so my age and younger, they don't understand the brainwashing of the media. Like, some people don't believe that Fox News lies. So it starts with education and kind of teaching the people what's going on. Like, black people, we was talking about forums on social medias, and I done had conversations with white people about racism. They like, hey, get over slavery, it's not happening anymore. Had the same conversations with black people. Young black people is like, yo, it doesn't exist anymore, it doesn't affect me. So a lot of people are just uneducated, and we got to do better at just teaching people what's really going on.
You have to understand that the caste system is still in place. It's morphological. So it's like a virus, like it changes. So once you learn how to diagnose these types of symptoms, then it changes. And that's what the caste system is. So the caste system is just basically that scale. You know, where they put you under, and everything closer to whiteness is what gets treated, you know, the best, the brightest. But everything that's further away from it, and they use blackness at the bottom of that totem pole. Why? Because they want to milk all of your resources. So, you know, they want to keep you down, but you can't blame them if you're the one that's reiterating it now, and if you're the one that's perpetuating it now. So we have to look at ourselves and see what we do. Because we can't control the external forces, except for fighting back. But we're not going to want to fight back intelligently until we know what we're fighting for.
I think it's a big factor. I mean, we live in a society where it's just follow the leader. They're going to do what they see. So when you have negative images of black people, or you don't see black leaders at all in the media, not saying that they don't exist, like you said, it's on a small level, but when you don't see that and you 15, 16, all you do is watch BET, Love and Hip Hop, and that's all you see, you're going to start to unconsciously start acting like those people. You're going to start wanting what they have. They acting a fool. That's why World Star Hip Hop, you got people putting up videos, 2 pregnant girls just got done fighting. You know what I'm saying? Stupid stuff like that, because that's entertaining to them. So it's the negativity that gets put out into the media, and they start just doing monkey see, monkey do, and there's no progression.
Well, I believe it's by design. You know, our generation, my generation, grew up watching the Cosbys and had Queen Latifah and MC Lyte and a Different World, very positive black role models to look at, images on TV. I mean, for me, it's by design that shifted and that changed, and that the women that we have to look at, you know, the younger generations have to look up today, you know, it's sex sales, sadly. Sex sales, drug sales, you know, gang and violence, that stuff sells. We have to start in our homes. What am I allowing my child to watch on TV? What am I allowing them to wear? You know, when I go into a store and the little girls section looks like my section, as a 35-year-old woman, something is wrong with that. But someone has to purchase that child those clothes. Someone has to allow them to watch those things on TV. So we have to deal with us first.
Divine mother principle, divine goddess, all the ancestors who came before us. We say Ashe, Ashe, we say Ashe, Ashe, we say Ashe. Thank you. I want the brother, the mother,